Hi everybody, Sniper69 here, bringing you another commentary. Today I'll be featuring the Scharnhorst, a ship which I haven't commentated on before, but I have promised that I would be doing one soon on Reddit, and I have been meaning to do one for a while. It's just taken some time getting a good replay where I could teach people stuff. There's no point in me showing a replay where I stomp everybody and show how this ship is super strong. Rather, I think it's a bit more important to show people how to play the ship and how to play well in general. So, I am top tier in this match. It's tier 5 to 7, and I believe the map is Neighbors. I'll have to double check that later, but we have two DDs. They have one. And the DD we have is a Nicholas and a Mahan. Nicholas is AFK the whole game, so we actually have one DD. So it's pretty much 11 versus 12. And our team is just hanging around the spawn, and a Mahan and a few other ships go down to B. So I'm looking at the positioning, and I'm wondering why no one is going down to C cap. Because on this map there are only three options for any ship. You either go C, you either go B, or you go A. Now, unless you're super stealthy or you have smoke, so basically a Royal Navy cruiser or a DD, you shouldn't be heading anywhere near B, or unless you're playing with a division with a smoke buddy. But you shouldn't be going to B, so it's either going to A or C. Now, if you go to A, it's very easy to find yourself out of position, because quite often a lot of teams will move down to the 1 and 2 line around A to try and get some cover. But if you're there behind the 1 and 2 line, you're nowhere near B and C. So I prefer heading up to C on this map on both sides, the north side or the south side. So I'd asked my team why no one's heading to C, but I decided, you know what, screw the team, I'm going to head down to C because it's important. So I take a shot at the Omaha. I don't think it's a long range shot. He's turning away. I should have given a bit more vertical lead, but in any case, I've taken the shot, and there's no harm, no gain. Nothing's really able to shoot at me, and with my concealment build, I'm pretty sure that nothing's really in range of me. And I'm in a pretty good position where I can shoot at ships at B and C, and a little bit at A, but I don't think anyone's at A. And I've got some good, nice cover which I can use to break line of sight. So the enemy Graf Spee decides to push up, which is rather idiotic of him. Shouldn't be doing this in a cruiser. He's pushing out literally in the open. There are islands around him, but he's not behind them. Whereas I'm behind it. I was behind the island just between us, and he's now 11 kilometers in front of me, or 12 kilometers away from me, and he has no cover. So he's gonna get deleted basically. I start angling away because I'm taking fire from at least 2 ships in that smoke, and looking at that HE, it could be a DD. They have one DD, it's a Leningrad, I think, and looking at that AP, it's probably a Royal Navy cruiser in that smoke. So it's looking on the map, checking the scoreboard, it's a Fiji, and I think it was, at the time I thought it was a Leningrad. So that's why I started angling away as well, starting moving away, because I want to get out of range with the torps. I think the Lenin has 8-kilometer torpedoes. Yes, well, I'm not too sure, because I don't usually play Russian ships. And there's quite a few ships on the sea cap. There's a Kirov at least. There's a Fiji, and at least, and at the time I thought it was a DD as well. So 3 ships on the cap. I'm not going to rush in. That's just stupid. That's called suiciding. So, and there's also a Gneisenau on the far side on the 10 line, and another battleship behind him as well. So it's not very smart to just YOLO in. It's probably better to use the terrain and wait for the enemy to make a mistake and then push in. Because we have secured B cap. We have secured a central position, and they've got a few ships down south, which are I guess a little bit isolated, and they've got the bulk of their team on the C cap. So I'm spotted by a plane. I was initially thought that I was still spotted by the Lenin. I thought the Lenin was breaking line of sight with this island in front of me. So that was another reason why I turned in towards the island, because I was scared of torpedoes. But I eventually realized that the Lenin is actually down at A cap from his last known position. He's the only DD, and he was well spotted on the A cap. So Our CV is a little bit salty because our Nicholas is AFK, and it's a bit of a joke to be honest. But you know, it's a bit annoying when you get AFK teammates, especially if you have an AFK DD or an AFK CV. But you know, I'm still in a central position. Their battleships are on the are on the 10 line, which are, you know, it's kind of like what our battleship is doing on at G3. He's pushing into A, fortunately, but he's kind of isolated from the fight, and so that's why it's a bit of an issue when you go to these to these far caps at A and C, but then go a bit too far, because then you find yourself out of position, and it's a bit difficult to push in. Because once we take B cap, that Gneiss now is pretty much stuck in that corner up there. It's very difficult for him to now push by himself. If he had, you know, if he was the division mate, or if he had a buddy, or you know, who was very ballsy, he could definitely try and, you know, do something and push in. But the average player is not gonna push in. He's just gonna go, oh look, there's a lot of ships there. I'm too scared, or I'm not good enough, so I'll just back off. So yeah, that's on him. Our team decides to finally push into C. Now is a good time because the smoke has dissipated. The Fiji is spotted south, so I know that they've got no smoke on C cap. These cruisers are now caught in the open, and the Lenin was down south, so they have no smoke, they have no cover once we push in. They've got torpedoes. We do need to watch out for them, but they're only 4 kilometers. The Kirov has 4 kilometers. The Atlanta has 4.5. But yeah, like, these cruisers are dead. They should have backed off like that Fiji. So that Fiji played well. He recognized the position and he left the C cap. The only issue is that he left his team behind. So his team has now died. If that Fiji had stayed on the cap and potentially smoked, they could have done a lot of damage to this New York and me. Just sitting in the smoke, popping radar. There were planes above, spotting. They could have easily done a lot of damage, but that Fiji decided to back off, which is a safe play. But then but because of that play, he's basically killed these 2 cruisers, and as a result, these 3 BBs around me on the 10 line, the Nagato and the 2 Gneisenau's, are now kind of stuck in an awkward position where they can't really go more forward because they're stuck in the corner, and they can't really go back because they need to fight for this cap. There's no point in them just like not doing anything. So I do a nice 8k damage on the Nagato, and I want to use this island as cover. I do spot the Ranger, which is very good because I'll be taking a shot at him very soon. And take a shot, bang, and I'm capping. I'm the New York on the C cap. He's about to die, so I'm pretty much the only one capping. I get about 10k damage on the Ranger, which is good. Already up to 42k damage. Haven't really done much, but I've kind of been this annoying battleship holding this central position where the enemy team has just kind of kept screwing up. So those battleships on the 10 line, they should have been around where the Koenig is at F9, but rather than retreating, they should have been pushing in together rather than scattering themselves in the corner. Because now they're stuck. They're kind of stuck there with nothing to do, and as a result, we've taken all their caps. All the caps belong to us. We have the points lead, we have the caps lead. Even though the ships are equal, they've lost pretty much all their cruisers. They've got a Fiji and something left. Omaha. We won't talk about the Omaha. The Omaha is not it's like just junk. It's dead weight in this match. And you know, the game is pretty much in the bag. I just go around shooting ships, doing a bit more damage. So the commentary about the Scharnhorst is pretty much over, really. I mean, Scharnhorst, very good ship. It has the best gun arcs of a battleship at tier 7. Has the highest shell velocity, and very good flat arcs. It has apparently a sigma of 2.0, which means it has a good grouping. But the issue is that the dispersion is poor, which means like shells will hit, but you won't hit all your shells, if you get what I mean. And apart from that, it has German total back, German secondaries, which means it's very hard to kill with AP. Like it's very hard to just one shot And the secondaries are quite strong if you get a secondary build, but unlike the Tirpitz and Bismarck, it's only 7.6 kilometer secondaries, not 10.6. If it was 10.6, this ship would be utterly overpowered, like just amazingly strong. I guess it wouldn't be too overpowered because not everybody runs the secondary build. On this ship, I'm using my Kurfürst Captain, which has Concealment Expert, Fire Prevention, and Basics of Survivability. Adrenaline Rush, Expert Marksman, Superintendent, and Priority Target. And I think that's 19 points. Yeah. So I didn't say them all in order, but you know, it's kind of kind of average. Like the skills I've selected for this captain aren't particularly amazing. I haven't really been on fire for too long. Haven't really been eating a lot of fires. So the ship is very tanky. The guns are very, very good. The very fast shell velocity means it's you know, it can hit DDs reasonably well. Like if you aim at a DD, you'll probably hit 1 or 2 shells, 3 shells maybe. And you know, in terms of like the shell arcs and velocity and the time of flight, you know, it took 6 seconds to hit that Fiji at 12 kilometers. I think for the Molotov, which everyone agrees has Soviet railguns at tier 6, I think to travel at 14 kilometers it takes 7 seconds. So these guns are like super heavy German railguns, but inaccurate railguns, right? So yeah, so somehow I take a big hit from the rear. It wasn't a Citadel because I was able to heal up a lot, but yeah, total back. I guess the other things that I'll talk about are, you know, just premiums in general. So recently Wargaming has released the Kaga and the Hun, and Wargaming has done a really good job of marketing the ships as like ships that you really want to get. But just because it's advertising, right? Just because a ship seems to be very good, or they've marketed it as something that, you know, which you need to get, doesn't mean you actually need it. If you get what I mean. If there's a ship that you want to get for tier 7, it's definitely the Scharnhorst. So that's about it, and thanks for watching. The Scharnhorst is a very shiny horse.